There comes a moment when comfort starts to disgust you, when the soft pillow of excuses begins to suffocate. You look around and realize everyone is pretending to chase something, but most are just walking in circles hoping success trips into their lap. Wanting is easy. Wanting requires no action, no discomfort, no sacrifice. The question that separates the great from the forgotten is not whether you want it. It is how much you are willing to endure for it. You do not rise because you wish. You rise because you bleed for the vision when nobody else is watching. You rise because you stop negotiating with laziness and demand evolution from yourself. Comfort is cheap. Conviction is expensive. Pay the price. You say you want change, but have you built the habits to match it? Words are air. Discipline is concrete. You cannot speak your way into transformation. You must grind your way through it. The man who wants success as a hobby will always lose to the one who treats it as survival. If your drive depends on motivation, you are already defeated. The fire that lasts is not emotional. It is engineered. It is built through repetition, through structure, through the refusal to quit when enthusiasm dies. You do not wait for the spark. You create it daily through discipline. Every day you choose action over comfort. You widen the gap between fantasy and reality. Desire without sacrifice is a delusion. Everyone dreams. Few commit. The difference lies in the cost you are willing to pay. You will not achieve something extraordinary by living an ordinary day 1,000 times. You must surrender the habits that feed mediocrity, the sleep that keeps you soft, the conversations that waste your energy, the environments that pacify you. Growth begins the moment you stop protecting your old self. Sacrifice is the language of greatness, and only those fluent in it are remembered. You cannot keep your comfort and your calling at the same time. One must die for the other to live. You cannot fake hunger. It reveals itself in your discipline, in your patience, in your silence. When you truly desire change, you stop seeking applause. You no longer chase validation because validation is a distraction from progress. The truly driven move in secrecy. They train in silence while others post about potential. They understand that noise feeds ego, and ego feeds stagnation. True hunger does not need to be announced. It is felt through execution. When the world sleeps, they are building. When the crowd doubts, they are refining. When the opportunity arrives, they are already ready. That quiet consistency is what turns effort into inevitability. You must learn to love the grind more than the result. The destination is an illusion designed to test your patience. Real fulfillment comes from the process, from waking up and doing the work even when the work is invisible. When you attach happiness to outcomes, you make it conditional. When you attach it to effort, you make it eternal. Those who last fall in love with repetition. They find beauty in monotony. They understand that progress is not dramatic. It is subtle, incremental, and relentless. The result is not a reward. It is a receipt for every invisible day you refuse to give up. Pressure will be your greatest teacher. When things collapse, when the plan fails, when exhaustion whispers surrender, that is where your true desire is revealed. Anyone can fight when victory is visible. Few can fight in the dark. That darkness separates the dreamers from the doors. The man who keeps moving with no promise of reward, with no audience to validate him, is the man who eventually commands outcomes. You will face rejection, loneliness, and uncertainty, but each test exists to measure the depth of your hunger. When life pushes you to your limit, do you break or do you build? That answer determines your destiny. Discipline is proof of desire. The undisciplined crave comfort more than change. They say they want success, but sabotage themselves daily through distraction and delay. The disciplined cut through resistance with precision. They build systems that carry them even when motivation evaporates. They understand that the body follows the mind, and the mind obeys the standard. Every decision you make either strengthens or softens you. Each small compromise compounds into failure. Each small act of discipline compounds into dominance. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is the ultimate weapon. The man who masters his daily habits eventually masters his fate. The world does not owe you results. It only responds to effort. You cannot demand victory if you have not earned it. Too many want outcomes without scars, recognition without suffering. But life pays only those who outlast. You cannot cheat effort, you cannot skip struggle, you cannot trick the grind. Every shortcut becomes a detour, every excuse a delay. Those who play the long game always win because persistence is undefeated. Patience, not passion, builds empires. You must learn to stay focused long enough to outlast those who burn fast but fade quickly. The battle is not external, it is internal. The greatest war you will ever fight is against the voice that tells you to stop. That voice will disguise itself as logic, as caution, as comfort. It will tell you that you've done enough, that others have it easier, that success isn't worth the effort. You must kill that voice daily. You must drown it with repetition, bury it under discipline, silence it with progress. The enemy is not the challenge. It is your tolerance for mediocrity. Each time you choose discomfort over ease, you starve the weakness trying to survive inside you. Time is the one currency you cannot counterfeit, cannot pause, and cannot reclaim. Men waste it like it renews every morning, forgetting that every tick of the clock is a silent theft. They believe they have more tomorrows than they truly do. They talk about their ambitions as if life will wait politely until they are ready. It will not. Time does not stop for hesitation, self-doubt, or comfort. It moves with or without you. The tragedy is that by the time most men realize this, their fire has dimmed, their energy has slowed, and their window of execution has closed. Every dream has an expiry, and the world is filled with graves of those who planned to start one day. That day never comes for those who don't respect time. Dreams do not die because they are impossible. They die because people delay execution. Men confuse preparation with procrastination, mistaking endless planning for progress. They wait for perfect timing, perfect opportunity, perfect confidence, not understanding that perfection is a form of fear dressed in logic. Every day spent overthinking is another day closer to irrelevance. The window of opportunity narrows quietly, without warning. What once felt urgent becomes optional, then impossible. The dream expires not because the idea was bad, but because the man waited too long to act. You either use time or time uses you. There is no middle ground. The illusion of endless time is one of life's cruelest lies. Youth blinds you into believing there will always be more chances. You waste energy on trivial pursuits, temporary pleasures, shallow distractions. You treat focus as something you can summon later. Then one morning, you wake up realizing later has arrived and nothing is built. The years you took for granted are gone, and what remains is regret disguised as nostalgia. You will try to convince yourself that life begins again at 40 or 50, but deep down, you will know that some dreams were meant for a version of you that no longer exists. Time is undefeated. It punishes hesitation with mediocrity. Most men underestimate how much time it takes to become exceptional. They want the results without the years. They want mastery without patience. They don't understand that every achievement has a compounding timeline. Success comes to those who start early, fail often, and refine relentlessly. The later you begin, the fewer iterations life allows you. Time does not reward potential, it rewards momentum. The man who begins now, even imperfectly, will surpass the one who waits for inspiration. Each day you delay, you shorten the runway available to reach your potential. That is how dreams quietly decay into fantasy. Discipline is the only way to fight time's erosion. Without structure, your hours scatter into waste. You may work hard, but if that work is not directed, you burn energy with no accumulation. The disciplined man respects time as his greatest ally. He schedules ruthlessly, says no often, and builds daily even when no progress is visible. He understands that consistent micro-effort compounds into mastery. Time rewards precision, not passion. The undisciplined man wastes decades chasing bursts of enthusiasm. The disciplined man creates a legacy through quiet, consistent focus. The clock favors the prepared. Men also forget that time changes them. The hunger you feel at 20 fades if you do not protect it. Energy turns into nostalgia, ambition into excuses. Every stage of life offers a different power. Youth gives fire, middle age gives wisdom, age gives perspective. Each is valuable, but only if used. When you waste one, you enter the next stage handicapped. You cannot sprint forever. You must act while the body obeys the mind, and the mind still burns with defiance. Every delay dulls that fire until comfort feels like peace. That is how dreams die quietly, in convenience. Time does not warn you when it is running out. It steals opportunities silently. One day you will realize that your circle has moved on, the world has changed, and your ideas no longer hold relevance. The dream that once felt revolutionary becomes outdated. Innovation has a window, and timing is its lifeblood. The man who delays execution while waiting for confidence watches others build what he imagined. Regret sets in not because he failed, but because he hesitated. The world does not wait for realization, it rewards immediacy. Every dream comes with an invisible countdown. Ignore it, and you will spend your life haunted by what could have been. There is also a moral cost to wasting time. When you delay your potential, you deny others the benefit of what you could have created. The inventions you never built, the lessons you never shared, the example you never became, all vanish with time. Your hesitation ripples outward. People who could have been inspired by your courage instead inherit your excuses. Time is not just personal, it is communal. The life you waste could have changed others. Every man's responsibility is to use his hours to elevate himself so he can elevate those around him. That is how time finds meaning. Reverence for time transforms how you live. You stop chasing distraction because you realize every moment lost to comfort is a moment stolen from legacy. You wake up with urgency, not anxiety. You move with precision because you understand that time, not talent, is the ultimate differentiator. The man who acts daily will outperform the genius who waits. When you see time as sacred, your priorities shift. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" You start asking, "Will this matter in 10 years?" That single question rewires your existence.